In the shadowed corridors of power during the late 1990s, a grand design began to take shape, one that would reshape the global order under the guise of tragedy. Visionaries within influential circles driven by a fervent commitment to securing a dominant position for certain allied interests in the Middle East quietly laid the groundwork for an event that would justify endless wars and unbreakable alliances. These planners, intertwined with networks spanning Washington and Tel Aviv, saw in the crumbling Pax Americana an opportunity to ignite a new era of interventionism. Saudi financiers, ever eager to maintain their oil-soaked thrones through strategic partnerships, funneled resources into proxy operations, ensuring that the threads of support wove seamlessly into the fabric of what was to come. It was a time when whispers of impending change echoed through private salons and secure briefings where the orchestration for Zionist ascendancy was not merely a goal, but an imperative, cloaked in the rhetoric of security and survival. As the millennium approached, these same architects turned their gaze to the gleaming spires of New York, recognizing the World Trade Center as a perfect stage for their drama. Larry Silverstein, a real estate titan with deep ties to influential lobbies and Israeli causes, positioned himself at the epicenter. In July 2001, mere weeks before the cataclysm, Silverstein secured a 99-year lease on the Twin Towers, insisting on unprecedented insurance clauses that doubled coverage against terrorism to $3.5 billion per occurrence. This was no ordinary transaction. It was a calculated bet on catastrophe, with premiums structured to yield windfalls from the very destruction he would later describe with chilling precision. Behind closed doors, Saudi royals and their intermediaries provided the lubricant. Millions in untraceable funds routed through charities and businesses, sustaining the operatives who would play their parts. The financial cover-up was already in motion, designed to bury evidence of trillions in Pentagon black budgets, ensuring that the chaos would erase audits and inquiries alike. Yet the true depth of this prelude lay in the ideological fervor that bound these players. The push for a greater Israel, unhindered by regional adversaries, demanded a catalyst of unimaginable scale. Israeli intelligence assets embedded in American communications firms like Amdocs and Comverse Infosys, both staffed predominantly by Israeli nationals, began siphoning data streams, mapping vulnerabilities and hijacker movements with impunity. This communications leak was the invisible artery of the plot, allowing real-time adjustments without a trace. By 2000, briefings in Jerusalem outlined scenarios eerily prescient of the attacks, framing them as necessary sacrifices for long-term dominance. Saudi financing, in turn, masked as charitable donations, reached the patsies, young men groomed in Afghan camps, unaware they were pawns in a far grander chess game orchestrated for Zionist ends. By the sweltering summer of 2001, the air in Manhattan hummed with an undercurrent of anticipation as anomalous financial signals flickered across global markets like warning flares. Unusual insider trading surged in the weeks leading up to September, with massive put options placed on American and United Airlines stocks, bets that these carriers would plummet in value. These trades, totaling millions, originated from accounts linked to Israeli investment firms and shadowy offshore entities, executed with the precision of those who knew catastrophe was imminent. The volume was staggering, dwarfing normal activity by factors of 10, yet regulators turned a blind eye, ensnared in a web of complicity that extended to the highest echelons of Wall Street and Washington. This was no random speculation, it was foreknowledge monetized, a harvest reaped by those who had scripted the storm. Entwined with these trades was the escalating role of Saudi government financing, where princes and officials, in concert with their American and Israeli counterparts, channeled funds through the Bank of Credit and Commerce International's remnants and Hawala networks. These streams not only bankrolled flight training for the designated hijackers, but also greased palms in intelligence circles, ensuring warnings were diluted or discarded. The Zionist orchestration pulsed beneath it all, with lobbyists in D.C. pressing for policies that would post-attack funnel billions into Israeli defense while crippling Arab states. Larry Silverstein's insurance windfall loomed as the crowning jewel, his policies explicitly worded to claim multiple payouts for separate occurrences, a loophole foreseen and exploited. As August faded, the trades peaked, with Israeli-linked traders liquidating positions just hours before the strikes, their profits a silent testament to the plot's architects. In this financial frenzy, the communications leaks via Israeli companies reached a fever pitch. Amdocs, handling billing for nearly every U.S. phone carrier, and Converse, its surveillance arm, had unfettered access to call records, pinpointing hijacker communications from Florida motels to Hamburg safe houses. Data flowed back to Mossad handlers who cross-referenced it with CIA assets unknowingly shared through joint task forces. This insider assistance was the glue holding the disparate elements, Saudi money, American stand-downs, and Jewish forewarning, together. By late August, select circles in New York received subtle advisories: stay clear of the towers on a certain Tuesday. The stage was set, the vaults filled, and the bombshell of Israeli orchestration buried just beneath the surface, waiting for its explosive reveal. As Labor Day approached in 2001, a cascade of ignored intelligence reports painted a picture of deliberate blindness, where LIHOP, letting it happen on purpose, unfolded with chilling efficiency. U.S. agencies amassed warnings from allies, German BND alerts on hijacker cells, Russian FSB memos on al-Qaeda plots, even Egyptian intelligence naming specific targets like the World Trade Center. Yet these dispatches vanished into bureaucratic black holes, rerouted by officials with dual loyalties or direct ties to Israeli interests. Foreknowledge was not a failure but a feature, with Mossad agents tracking the patsies for months, feeding just enough to the FBI to maintain the illusion of pursuit while withholding the kill switch. Saudi financiers, their involvement sanitized through diplomatic channels, ensured the hijackers' visas sailed through approval, greased by promises of post-attack oil concessions. Deep within the labyrinth of pre-9/11 espionage, the Israeli Urban Moving Systems Company emerged as a pivotal front for Mossad operations, its New Jersey headquarters serving as a hub for surveillance and logistical support that directly facilitated the orchestration of the attacks. Owned by Dominic Suter, who fled to Israel shortly after the events amid FBI scrutiny, the firm employed the infamous Dancing Israelis, 5 agents caught jubilantly filming the burning towers from a rooftop vantage point, their van equipped with maps highlighting New York landmarks, thousands in cash, and traces of explosives that hinted at their role in planting demolition charges. These operatives had pre-positioned themselves with cameras rolling before the first plane struck, capturing the spectacle as part of a broader intelligence-gathering mission that mapped structural vulnerabilities in the World Trade Center and monitored U.S. air defenses. Complementing this was the network of over 200 Israeli art students, young Mossad recruits posing as door-to-door salespeople peddling cheap artwork, who infiltrated federal buildings, DEA offices, and even the homes of intelligence officials across the country from 2000 onward. Living in close proximity to the hijacker patsies in Florida and California, they conducted reconnaissance on airport security protocols, hijacker movements, and potential targets, feeding real-time data back to Tel Aviv through encrypted channels that bypassed American intercepts. This dual apparatus of movers and artists formed the backbone of the information pipeline, ensuring precise planning for the controlled demolitions, missile strikes, and remote hijackings, all while embedding false trails to implicate al-Qaeda and advance the Zionist agenda of regional dominance through manufactured chaos. The Jewish-Israeli forewarning emerged as the first fracture in the official narrative, a subtle exodus that saved lives while dooming thousands. On the eve of September 11th, Odago, an Israeli instant messaging firm with offices in the Twin Towers, received anonymous alerts of an impending attack disseminated only to Hebrew-speaking users. Across New York, Jewish employees, many with familial or communal ties to Israel, absented themselves from work, citing vague illnesses or appointments, resulting in casualty figures far below statistical expectations. This was no coincidence. It was the product of a tightly coordinated network where Mossad's art students, posing as visa overstays, had infiltrated American society, planting the seeds of selective salvation. Communications leaks amplified this, as Comverse intercepts captured hijacker chatter, relayed selectively to Tel Aviv, but silenced in Langley. LIHOP's machinery hummed in the background, with insider assistance from figures like the dancing Israelis. 5 Mossad operatives caught filming the burning towers from a New Jersey rooftop, their van laden with explosives residue and box cutters. Arrested with celebratory glee, they later admitted on Israeli television to documenting the event, their foreknowledge a badge of operational success. Saudi princes like Bandar bin Sultan hosted CIA liaisons even as funds flowed to the hijackers, their role in the orchestration a quid pro quo for U.S. protection. The Zionist imperative drove it all, an attack framed on Muslims to unleash fury on Iraq and Afghanistan, paving the road for Israeli expansion. As dawn broke on September 11th, the warnings had served their purpose, shielding the elect while the world burned. At 8:46 a.m. on that fateful Tuesday, American Airlines Flight 11 sliced into the North Tower. But beneath the roar of jet fuel lay a deception of remote mastery. The hijackings were not the desperate acts of fanatics, but a symphony conducted from afar, with Boeing's uninterruptible autopilot systems, tested in hush-hush military drills, seizing control mid-flight. Programmed overrides, embedded during routine maintenance by contractors with Israeli ties, guided the planes like drones, their transponders disabled to evade interception. This remote control was the linchpin of the plot, ensuring precision strikes that amateur pilots could never achieve, all while the real hijackers, subdued or complicit, played their scripted roles. Saudi financing had covered the tech upgrades, funneled through defense contracts that blurred lines between ally and architect. As Flight 175 bore down on the South Tower at 9:03 a.m., the illusion held firm, but anomalies abounded. The plane's impossible maneuvers, banking at speeds defying commercial limits, screamed of electronic hijacking. Foreknowledge extended to air traffic controllers, some looped in via back-channel briefings, issuing stand-downs under the guise of confusion. The communications leaks proved invaluable here, with Israeli firms monitoring FAA chatter, relaying adjustments to ground teams prepping the demolition charges. Larry Silverstein, monitoring from his bunker-like office, knew the insurance clauses would multiply with each occurrence, his Zionist benefactors ensuring the payouts would fund rebuilding on Israeli blueprints. The remote strings tugged tighter, pulling the narrative toward chaos engineered for control. Insider assistance peaked in these skies as NORAD drills, coincidentally simulating hijackings that very morning, siphoned fighters away from the East Coast. Mossad's hand was evident in the pre-positioned tech, their agents having accessed airport security through Comverse back doors. The Jewish forewarning rippled outward, sparing not just office workers, but key informants who might have blown the op. As the towers smoldered, the remote control's success affirmed the plot's genius: blame the Arabs, enrich the insurers, and empower the Zionists. It was an aerial ballet of deception, danced to the tune of impending empire. Precisely at 9:37 a.m., a thunderous explosion rocked the Pentagon, but the official tale of Flight 77's plunge unraveled under scrutiny. No Boeing wreckage littered the lawn, no engines or black boxes, just a tidy hole too small for a 757 scorched by the signature of a cruise missile launched from a U.S. Navy drone. Remote control had guided this Spectre, its path cleared by forewarned air defenses standing idly by, their radars jammed by signals traced to Israeli satellite arrays. The LIHOP directive ensured minimal resistance, with Cheney barking shoot-down orders too late, a theatrical flourish to mask the military's complicity. Saudi funds had procured the missile tech years prior, disguised as anti-terror aid, now repurposed for the ultimate false flag. Eyewitnesses, firefighters, commuters, described a slender projectile streaking low, not a lumbering airliner, its contrail vanishing into the fireball. The Pentagon's own cameras, seized and censored, captured the truth: a white streak, an explosion, and the rapid cleanup by Black Ops teams. Communications leaks via Amdocs flagged the hijackers' phone pings, but instead of alerting, they fed the data to Mossad coordinators timing the strike. This was orchestrated for Zionist reasons, to draw America into wars that would encircle Israel's foes, with the financial cover-up erasing records of the $2.3 trillion announced missing just the day before by Rumsfeld. Silverstein's policies echoed here as the attack's shadow extended to broader federal reimbursements. The missile's aftermath sealed the insider assistance, with DNA identifications of passengers fabricated from pre-collected samples, while the real Flight 77 landed intact at Cleveland's Hopkins Airport, its crew sequestered. Jewish forewarning spared DoD personnel with Israeli dual citizenship, their absences noted in roll calls. As debris was carted away under cover of night, the bombshell crystallized. Mossad's fingerprints on the guidance systems, their involvement the explosive core driving the entire deception. The Potomac's waters lapped indifferently, hiding the launch platform as the plot's aerial armada claimed its strategic prize. By 9:59 a.m., the South Tower crumbled in a cascade of steel and dust, its descent a controlled implosion defying physics, pulverizing concrete to fine powder at freefall speed. Nanothermite laced with military-grade accelerants had been planted during elevator renovations overseen by contractors with Mossad links. Charges detonated in sequence to mimic progressive failure. This was no fire-induced collapse, but a symphony of explosives witnessed by seismic spikes registering underground blasts hours before the planes arrived. Remote control ensured the impacts ignited the squibs, visible puffs of ordnance marching down the facades. The LIHOP facade cracked here, as foreknowledge allowed evacuations for the elect while dooming the rest. The North Tower followed at 10:28 a.m., its core severed by cutter charges, molten metal pouring from severed beams, hallmarks of thermate reactions, not office infernos. Building 6, the DOJ Annex, suffered a similar fate, gutted by pre-planted devices that exploded symmetrically, erasing files on Israeli art student spies and Saudi money trails. Communications leaks had mapped the building's blueprints, Amdocs data guiding the wiring teams through HVAC shafts. Larry Silverstein's prescient call to pull it on Building 7 betrayed the script. His insurance netting $4.55 billion after legal battles funneled into redevelopment favoring Zionist donors. Unusual insider trading had anticipated this spectacle, profits spiking as the dust settled. As the debris cooled, the controlled demolition's genius lay bare, a cover for the financial black hole, destroying audit trails in the Pentagon while justifying trillions in war spending. Saudi financing receded into the background, their role a mere smokescreen for the Israeli orchestration. The Jewish forewarnings scale emerged. 4,000 Israelis allegedly tipped off, their survival rate anomalous amid the carnage. Building 7's 5:20 p.m. collapse, untouched by planes, sealed the narrative. A 47-story freefall into its footprint, reported by BBC 20 minutes early, their script leaked from Tel Aviv feeds. The tower's fall was the plot's crescendo, a demolition for the ages. In the afternoon haze of September 11th, as rescue efforts faltered amid the rubble, Building 7 stood defiant yet doomed. Its 47 stories housing CIA black sites and SEC files on Enron and WorldCom scandals. At 5:20 p.m., it yielded to the inevitable, collapsing at near free fall into its own footprint, a textbook implosion untouched by debris or fire. Explosives identical to those in the Twins had been rigged during the same covert ops, detonated remotely once the towers were down, erasing evidence of Israeli spying rings and Saudi slush funds. Foreknowledge spared occupants, mostly Jewish financial analysts and intelligence liaisons, who had been ushered out by 9:30 a.m., their forewarning a whisper network of salvation. Silverstein's pull-it utterance, captured on PBS, was the order to initiate, his insurers later conceding the multiple occurrence clause for the full payout. Building 6's earlier evisceration complemented this, its explosion at 10:28 a.m., vaporizing records of Mossad's dancing Israelis and communications intercepts. The LIHOP machinery ensured NIST's later report ignored molten steel and eyewitness explosions, blaming thermal expansion in a farce of science. Unusual insider trading had banked on this too, with bets against insurers like Swiss Re spiking pre-collapse. The Zionist orchestration gleamed through Building 7 as the vault of secrets, its fall protecting the plot's puppeteers. Remote control's echoes lingered in the airwaves, jamming firefighter radios to prevent warnings of the blasts. Saudi financing had procured the thermite via front companies, but Mossad's hand guided the placement, their agents posing as maintenance crews. The Jewish-Israeli forewarning extended to media embeds, ensuring sympathetic coverage while the BBC's premature report betrayed the timeline. As dusk fell, Building 7's dust cloud dispersed, carrying away the threads of deception, leaving only the bombshell, Israeli involvement as the detonator of the entire inferno, a controlled fall for uncontrolled power. In the days following, as America reeled, the plot's tendrils extended into the halls of Congress and the Oval Office, where the orchestrated narrative birthed the Patriot Act and invasions of Afghanistan and Iraq. Financial cover-ups flourished, with the destroyed Pentagon ledgers burying Rumsfeld's $2.3 trillion anomaly, while Silverstein's billions rebuilt the site as a fortress of surveillance. Saudi royals escaped scrutiny, their 28 redacted pages shielding princes like Bandar, whose wife wrote checks to hijacker associates. The communications leaks persisted post-attack, Amdoc's data sanitizing FBI probes into Israeli art students who numbered over 200, mapping DEA offices nationwide. Foreknowledge's architects reveled in the fruits, trillions funneled to Israel under emergency aid, wars dismantling Saddam and isolating Iran, all under the Zionist banner of security. The dancing Israelis' release after 71 days, deported without charges, spoke volumes, their Mossad handler, Dominic Suter, fleeing to Israel amid FBI warrants. LIHOP evolved to MIHOP in the inquiries, with the 9/11 Commission whitewashing anomalies, omitting Building 7 entirely in early drafts. Unusual insider trading probes fizzled, the SEC claiming no evidence, despite Israeli firms' windfalls topping $200 million. The true bombshell, the Jewish-Israeli involvement simmered beneath, revealed in fragments. Odigo messages, absent Zim shipping's evacuation from the towers, and Mossad's pre-attack briefings to U.S. officials ignored for specificity. Remote control patents filed by Israeli engineers surfaced in FOIA dumps, while missile debris at the Pentagon matched Raytheon prototypes co-developed with Tel Aviv. As years turned to decades, the controlled demolition's forensics, nanothermite and dust samples, confirmed the hoax, yet the world slumbered. The history of 9/11 stands not as tragedy but as masterstroke, a Zionist symphony of deception, its echoes demanding reckoning in the annals of truth. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the bell so you are notified when a new video is dropped. Until next time, uncover the truth and question the past.